Hi, welcome back to MJT Reviews. This is me, Mitchell James. We're talking about Romania on a Sunday by Ester Peony. And I'm here with Stuart Waters, ESC Fan TV. Check that out because it's so good. They spoke about Romania in detail, so check that episode out. But we've got Stuart, the moderator, and he's talking about on a Sunday. What do you think, Stuart?
This was a really interesting pick for Romania.
Yeah.
I say a really interesting pick for Romania because no one in Romania actually picked this song. It was picked by the jury, and then the televote was 1 vote out of 8. So by the time it actually got to the televote, they didn't even have a chance. It wasn't the favourite going in. It's a good song. Don't get me wrong. It will do okay in Tel Aviv. Will it qualify? Romania had its first failed qualification last year. This might be their second. Who knows? But they had some good songs in that national final. This wasn't my favourite, sadly. And I'm usually quite positive about all the songs on your channel, Mitchell. But this is probably one where I'd say it's okay. And it sort of will, if I avoid skipping it on the playlist, then it's done okay. But usually it'll come on. I think, no, I don't really want to listen to this today. It's okay. It's sort of a rock ballad. It builds. She's got a great vocal. She will certainly be a presence in television. She's got great on stage, great look, great choreographed performance in the national final. I would expect that to continue into Tel Aviv. But yeah, it's one that actually works live, but. And it wasn't expected to do really well. It's difficult to describe, but on the night, it certainly stood out. And that's what I think it will do at Tel Aviv. It stood out on a night in Romania, in Bucharest, where some of the favourites just didn't quite work. Laura Bretan was the favourite going into Romania. It didn't work on the night. And yeah, Ester Peony came through and took the victory.
I'm curious, what was your favourite in that national selection?
I liked Laura Bretan, but I particularly liked Army of Love, which I thought could have done really well in Tel Aviv. I changed my mind now, however, because there are so many bangers, and I think it might have lost out. And I think as an Australian, you must be delighted that Laura Bretan didn't make it, because I really would have caused some problems for the Australian act Kate Miller-Heidke, because they're very similar in styles. It re-emphasizes the point that you send something different, you stand out Eurovision, and I think Romania, on reflection, probably made the right decision actually.
Well, I was going to ask, and also remember, Ester's got that kind of little operatic part at the end, only briefly. But what did you think of? Well, I know what you think of the decision from the jury, but what was there? Can you see why the jury went with that over the other fan favorites? Because I know that they reckon that the jury had 87% weighting because last year the public voted for Goodbye and Goodbye didn't do so well, and so they think that that might be a situation again. But could you see why the jury really kind of saw this song as a highlight song?
Not really.
You can't see it.
I was marking and scoring myself, and I had this in 4th or 5th in the final. It's a good song. She's a great singer, but I think they should have either gone for Army of Love or Laura Bretan. Laura Bretan over Army of Love for me would have been the right decision. But on reflection, they wouldn't be unique in Tel Aviv because Australia have chosen Kate Miller-Heidke, which is sort of similar, and there are several bangers, so they wouldn't have been unique sending Army of Love. But as a fan, I look on, I think, well, choose the song that is going to give you your best possible scoring in the Eurovision semi-finals and finals. And I think those two songs probably would have done better. But on reflection now, Ester Peony will stand out. And why did she do so well? She did so well because of her, because she's got a great vocal and she delivers on stage, and neither of the other two were able to deliver to the same level as Ester Peony. That's why she won. She blew the jury away.
Yeah, okay. Great, thank you so much, Stuart. I'm here with Lamb. and he's reacting to Romania on a Sunday. On a Sunday, there's lightning in the back.
Yeah.
It matches the thing well. So on a Sunday by Ester Peony, check it out, Romania.
Okay, so 1, 2, 3, go. Ooh. What's this? I don't want to spend my Sunday here, man.
Here's what I really think of Romania. I understand this was a controversial win, but
And it's a good song, but the way they make the music video, I don't think it's gonna be a good fit. I think I can partly understand the message. Maybe like, you know, she loved him too much, and then he left her, and it, you know, left her crazy. You know, she got, you know,
left her crazy.
yeah, that drove her crazy, way too crazy. She got mad so bad, and yeah, she was into her own world. You know, she couldn't escape from the couldn't escape
Oh.
from reality. So, you know, like it's very crazy from the inside. I think what happened in the video is what's happening inside the girl rather than the outside.
So you think she's kind of like a little like psychotic in a way?
Yeah. Somehow, like, you know, in the beginning, the girl opened the door to get inside. You know, you can see outside is very gray, it's very dark, but inside is so colorful. Too many things happening, so chaotic. And I think that's actually happening inside of a girl, you know, who just broke up with her boyfriend on a September Sunday.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's how I feel. And some people might feel like it's too disturbing, you know. Well, I don't really feel that way. I mean, like, can feel for the girl, if that's what actually what they mean. You know, what the video makers that what they mean. If I interpret it right, so that's how I feel.
Did you sympathize with her?
Yeah, sympathize.
You didn't think she was just crazy. You actually thought, oh, you know, I feel bad for her.
Yeah, I mean, like, it happens for a reason. She cannot just, you know, randomly gets crazy. Something might happen. So yeah.
What do you think of this music video? Apart from it being really disturbing, what do you think? Do you think it was high quality or a bit weird for your liking?
A little bit of everything, you know. High quality, yes. Weird, yes. Very symbolisms.
The national selection, she kind of just sat on a chair and sung this around like a couch, like a really old couch. But yeah, so I think she has like a style she's going to do on the night already.
It's going to make her very unique in the competition, I believe. Could be a strong opponent to Iceland. You know?
Oh, you think so?
Yeah,
oh, you're matching it to that kind of style?
Yeah, the heavy metal guy, you know.
You're putting them together as like disturbing songs?
Like they're both weird and
So what do you think of the actual song? You think it was well sung?
Yeah, definitely. She has a good voice as well. Very emotional.
Yeah, cool. Do you think people will appreciate it? It'll like it. People will enjoy listening to it overall.
Yeah, I think it depends on the way it's performed on the night. If they perform it well and people can, you know, sympathize with it, yeah, they will like it. But if they couldn't feel it, man, that could be risky.
This one was rather controversial for Romania because they had national selection, and they actually, so you know how they do the jury vote is 50% and the televote is 50% in Eurovision. So that's how they do it for most national selections. But Romania, they weighted the jury to have 87% of the say.
Wow.
So this was actually the televote's 5th favorite, I think. 3rd favorite. I think maybe 3rd. I think it was their 3rd favorite. And that's right. It was their 3rd favorite, and the televote's favorite was the jury's 5th favorite. So this one won. And so everyone was angry that the jury rigged it, they're saying. Do you think you'd know why the jury would want to have this one? Not that you didn't see the other one that everyone was talking about, but could you see a reason why the jury would really want this song to go through and represent Romania? Like, what kind of purpose would you think?
Maybe it stand out. It will stand out from the crowd.
Yeah, you think they voted because it's really unique?
Yeah.
Okay.
Very I'll say what's the word? Romania is that the home country of Dracula?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Pennsylvania.
It fits, you know, the image of Romania. No offense, you know.
You mean the stereotypical image?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Represent the cultural elements, you know.
Yeah, that's a good somewhat comparison in terms of thematic comparison. That's really good. Yeah, and interestingly, she wasn't the telephone's favorite, but there was another song which actually was my favorite, and it was a Filipino singer for Romania, and she's married to a Romanian man, so she was representing a song, and she actually had a rap break, and she rapped in Tagalog, in Filipino. So a lot of people wanted her to win because then they could have possibly sung Filipino at Eurovision. What would have you thought about that?
That could be way too cool, man. You know, an Asian language being sang at Eurovision. How cool can it be? And, you know, as a Southeast Asian myself, you know, definitely I'm gonna root for that. But I don't know. Things happen for a reason. This one make it all the way out of the country. And so, yeah, now it's a responsibility of the people of Romanians to support it.
Yeah. And she's a newcomer, that singer. So next year she could come back with another song and sing a bit of Filipino, and she might just do it. We might have might have a Vietnamese person compete.
Yeah, why not? Why not? Definitely. One day, man, one day.
Yeah. Actually, I should take this time to I'll just check if, as you know, that they're trying to arrange Eurovision Asia.
Yeah, I think you told me about it before.
And Vietnam is now a confirmed country to compete when it actually happens.
Oh, awesome.
Because they were trying to negotiate them in it. They couldn't get a few ones, and they've confirmed Vietnam, Indonesia. Philippines is still not confirmed, but we've also got Turkey. We've got
Turkey?
Yeah, Turkey. Even United Arab Emirates, Dubai.
Yeah, they're Asian, obviously, but Turkey, you know, man.
You're surprised about Turkey? You know how they say Istanbul kind of divides Europe and Asia?
Yeah, I know, but, you know, I know Turkey, they play in the Euro soccer cup, so, man.
I think Turkey's doing it because they used to be in Eurovision and then they left because they said that they weren't a fan of the jury vote and they weren't a fan of like the big five automatically making it to the final, so they wouldn't have a problem. Yeah, so it's really interesting. We'll see if that ever happens. I'm a little bit cynical, but if it ever happens, that'd be wonderful in a perfect world.
Yeah, sure, definitely.
So do you think actually Vietnam would get behind such a contest if that ever happened?
What do you mean by get behind?
If Vietnam said, announcing Eurovision Asia, how do you think people would react? How would your friends react?
Okay, the first reaction would be, what is Eurovision, huh? What's that? Is such a thing ever existed? So yeah, that's what they say. That's what they will say. But I think when they find out, you know, people, you know, Vietnamese people, they prefer Vietnamese representing the country in any ways.
The
Yeah,
crowd.
they'll be excited.
Do you think that they would bring in a newcomer or a singer through national selection, or do you think they'd put in someone like Songtan MTP?
Yeah, they're gonna pick out, I think, 5 or 7 singers, and they choose from there.
Do you think it'd be a celebrity?
Yeah, definitely, because representing a country is a very big thing, and putting that huge responsibility on a newcomer is quite risky. And I don't think we Vietnamese would love to do that.
Oh, awesome. Well, I wait for that time. Well, that's great. And we'll move on to Romania.
Yes.
I'm here with Elysse Turner, and we're talking about Romania on a Sunday. Ester Peony, what do you think of On a Sunday, Elysse? This is one of the first songs you electively heard on your own.
Yes. I started prepping before we started recording, like not much earlier, but it was one of the ones before you'd sort of given me a bunch to do. I was looking at this song and I loved it. It is cool. This is my music genre, and a few other things. So yeah, let's get into this. It is fun. I'm excited to share my opinions with y'all. So we got a female singer. That's classic. Love it. I'm very big on the female sort of empowerment, so it's not surprising that I love this song because we have a female singer front and center.
And we have deprived of females for a few weeks. You've been deprived of females for a few weeks.
I know. And I've noticed, like, the ones that I'm making notes of, higher ranking, like, I'm not giving a ranking, but I'm like, yes, this one's high on my list. A lot of them are females. Like, the majority of the ones I've made notes about are female singers. And I don't think that's intentional. Maybe it's a subconscious bias towards that. But anyway, doesn't matter.
I will say I've noticed a lot of the females this year are not just like, I don't know what typical girl female sounds like, but the women have all really unique tones.
It's more socially acceptable for women to be vulnerable, and maybe that translates into the music. Maybe the women are much happier to have that quieter, soft thing followed by that really loud thing. Whereas maybe the guys just want to keep that same tone all throughout because it's less accepted culturally for males to have that emotion. And so maybe that's how it translates into the way that they sing their songs. So maybe that's it. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's a working theory, I guess.
Yeah. And I also have to shout out Hungary. I think that was a really unique tone. So the more I'm thinking of it, everyone, like you said, is diverse. Oh, and you're gone. Or I'm gone.
Fingers am I holding up?
2.
2 fingers?
Yeah.
1 finger?
Thank you. Shaka. Okay.
Shaka, yeah. Yeah, so everyone's got some unique tones, and that's pretty cool. We have one language in this song, that is English. So our range is C4 to G5, which is an octave and a half. That's about a standard range for a soprano singer. It's not too low, it's not too high. They could probably go a bit higher, but it's a good, like, easy range to sing in. Our key is C minor, which is awesome. I love myself a minor key. Maybe that's why I like this song so much. Like, it's ticking a lot of boxes so far. What I also think is pretty exciting about this song is that I felt it as a 6/8 time signature. This is the first non-4/4 time signature that I've sort of heard. I mean, you could sort of count it as 4/4 if you wanted to, but I thought it had a much more lilted 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 vibe because of the way that it starts off with the guitar. But because I've counted it in 6/8, our beats per minute have gone up dramatically because you have more beats to be counting. It's a bit faster. So we have currently what I'm going to assume is going to top our beats per minute of Eurovision songs, 218, with prestissimo, which means I'm assuming very, very fast because fortissimo means very, very loud. So I'm going to assume it's very, very fast.
That's super fast because the last year the fastest was 168, I think.
Well, see, here's the thing. With the time signatures, it could go either way. It could be 4/4, in which case it'd be a bit slower. But the way that I heard it, because it sounds like it's got that vibe, I've said it's 6/8. Now 8 would mean that it's a quarter note rather than a crotchet note. So for the music nerds out there or the math nerds out there, a crotchet is worth 1, and a semiquaver, which is what the quarter note is worth a quarter. Yeah. So that's why you've got so many more notes. You're counting a lot more notes because, you know, you're using more notes essentially. And so that's why it comes across as fast. So even though you've got the 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, you could also count that as 1 rather than. So that means what I would consider 4 bars, you might consider 1 bar based on that sort of beat system. So it just sort of depends on how you interpret it, I guess.
Maybe we should tweet the songwriters to see if it's in 6/8.
I guess it depends on the musicians as well, because when you're performing, you're counting something in your head, and that's what it is. And so if you've got sheet music in front of you, it says 4/4, you're going to count 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a, rather than 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So, I might look up after this what the 4/4. Me too. And like the thing is, it's got a really cool sort of lilting vibe if it's 6/8, I think. So I thought that was kind of exciting. We have 3 chords. We're in C minor, aren't we? Yep. So we got a minor chord for number 1, which is C minor. We have chord number 6, which is a major chord, which is G flat major. And then we have chord number 7, which is also a major chord, which is B flat major. Sorry. So it's interesting, even though we're in a minor key, we have 2 major chords and 1 minor chord, and that's it. That's our whole song. It's just those 3 chords. But I guess it's using that to sort of create the tension between the melodic vocals, which are minor, and the chords. You got that chord progression to create the tension. Yeah. So let's look at our instruments. We've got our vocals, and then we're starting off with an acoustic guitar, which is what gives it that really stripped back vibe to start off with. I wouldn't argue this song is country, but I'm getting a little bit of a country vibe with the guitar. It's a bit like a horse sort of riding on a horse out in the back, outback or something. Not the outback. When do you ride horses? Not in the desert of Australia, that's for sure. But, you know, like a very mythical sort of elegant horse and an enchanted mystery thing. And so I've got that sort of vibe of like a bit country, but it's not country. So Casey Chambers' Crossfire, maybe, where she's quite a country singer, but she has this rocky song on one of her albums, which would be the Am I Not Pretty Enough album.
That's an interesting category.
Yeah, like, I don't know, maybe it comes from my personal music collection, because Casey Chambers was one of the first artists I was really into, and so I kind of got that bit of a country rock vibe, but maybe it's just something that I've picked up and no one else has. So let us know if, you know, you have a different opinion. And then we got the electronic drum kit, which comes in a bit later, synth bass and a piano to just really round it out by the end of the song. You've got this really cool big song. I made a comparison to Saphir in one of the other songs. From 40 seconds on, this has got that really big Saphir bass again. So that really big building whoop sort of sound. It just sort of explodes and it makes it really punchy and really big and really exciting. So that's
a song you would say could match this sound.
The Counting Sheep song. But like it's just because it's so on the beat and very like it gets bigger. It sounds really exciting. I think that's kind of the vibe that I'm getting from that. Yeah. So that brings us to song structure. How is this song put together? We have an intro for 4 bars. Let's not move that into a different box. So an intro for 4 bars. We have verse 1 at 16 bars, a chorus for 8, and then verse 2 for 16 bars, But then before we go back into the chorus again, we've got a little interlude for 8 bars. That's kind of cool. A chorus for another 8. Second chorus, that's a double chorus for 8. Verse 3 for 16. And then an interlude for 8, again, before doing another double chorus with 8 and 8. So that's our structure. I think it's really cool that they've got 3 verses in. I think not heaps of songs have 3 verses, which are all separated by their choruses. So that's exciting. They also have 2 interludes, which is interesting. And they're not short interludes. They're 8-bar interludes, which is the same length as the chorus. But you know, it still feels full and it still feels exciting. And I don't think, like, I didn't tune out of the interlude. Sometimes you tune out when they're doing this interlude bit. But no, I think it still flowed really well. Maybe that's because it's just such a fast-paced song at 6/8 that it just sort of keeps going. And you're like, yeah, this is cool. I can dig this.
What do you think of the vocals of this song?
These vocals make me happy. She's got this sort of like little troll in the way she sort of sings. Like, it's a bit of a dragging up to the note. So you left me, like, rather than just going straight to the note, she's sort of dragging herself up with it. So that's pretty cool. And then it's kind of like she's not belting it. So Grease did a really good, powerful sort of belting sort of song. She's keeping it a little reserved, and it still sounds good. Like, it's quite ethereal. I don't want to say airy because her voice isn't airy. It's not an airy voice, but it's quite a reserved, little meek, but it works. Like, it just, I think it's a really nice sort of tone.
Yeah. What do you think about, there was like a touch, a sneaky kind of, I wouldn't call it operatic, but how she's like,
oh yeah, the sort of bit.
Yeah.
I picked the wrong bit. Yeah, no, that was cool. It was a really nice way to build it up, and it also showcased a little bit more of her voice because she's got quite like she's keeping it really in the safe zone, but that little me trill, that's what pushed it up to the G5, I think it was. That's what made it such like a bit of a push. Otherwise, it was about an octave that she was sitting in most of the time. And I thought it was nice. It was a really great way to transition into the next section. And it was exciting. I mean, most of these this song excited me. It was great to see one section go to another one and all that. So I'm so wrong.
Did you remember I was telling you about how there was slight controversy with the national selection for Romania? And there was
I do remember you telling me, but I don't remember what you said.
Yeah, because the jury was weighted at 87%.
Oh, yeah. So basically the fan favorite one didn't make it through, right?
No. They voted the fan favorite 5th, I think, overall. So
yeah. Well, I've decided that the jury is right. Y'all are wrong because this song is lit. Like, you want a song that's interesting. And this one is going places. It's exciting. It's a really cool vibe. It's a little different from the other ones we've heard, but it's still got that what I would now consider my perception of what a Eurovision song should sound like, and it gets bigger and it's fun. So yeah, I'm sorry, fans of your own country. If you don't like your song, that's okay. I like it enough for both of us.
Last year, the one that won was voted by the televoting over the jury, and then it was their worst placement they've ever got, and they didn't make the finals.
So they're basically like, you guys screwed us over. We're not letting that happen again.
I have to hear what you think of the music video.
Okay. Yes. I love the vibe. And like, I'm not just saying that because I love the song. You guys know that if I like a song and don't like the video, I'll be honest. But I love this video. It seemed a little Hitchcock, not in the sense of you get the long sort of single panning shots, but in the sort of gothic staging of the start of the video and like a bit later as well. She looked a little hipster, which is kind of cool. Very millennial hipster though, like not millennial hipster. What's the word? What's the one below millennials? The group that's about 18 now. You know, the ones that sort of like don the big black caps. Not caps, but, you know, hats, and then they like wearing the long line dresses, and that's about it. And then they put like the little chokers on that look like hat ties and think they're cool. It was that sort of hipster. But like I thought that was a really nice aesthetic. I don't know if you know what clothing site I shop at, but it's a company called Black Milk Clothing. It's Aussie, and every now and then they bring out like this gothic line, and I thought she could be promoting their clothes in that video because it just looks something straight out of one of those. I can send you a link to one of those if you wanted to put a picture up. That was exciting, and so I love the aesthetic and I love the style. It's very much up my alley for things that I buy and I wear. I was a bit questionable about the wolf in the video. I'm not quite sure why it was there, and it really didn't seem to add that much. It just sort of sat there for a little bit and then it was gone.
They had a bark on cue.
Oh, well, it wasn't in the sound.
No.
They didn't edit it.
No, they didn't actually.
Yeah, which is a note I actually have. They had some Foley sound edited in where this person enters the house, but I was surprised there wasn't more. There was a lot more room for more because there's a lot going on. You've got this very magical realm that you kind of enter inside this house. You've got fire coming out of nowhere, smoke happening, and like you got some water effects towards the end. You could totally have sound effects in your video. That would make it, like, I think that would just elevate it to the next level. Having some little, like, sort of sound effects or some running water sound effects at the end, burning sound effects with the fire when the wolf, like, barks or whatever on cue. Let's hear that. I just think that would have elevated it into the next sort of level.
Maybe they were over budget.
Over budget, but it's... Okay, freesound.org, you could get all that shit. It probably wouldn't sound 100% on point, but, you know, it's free. You only have to give attribution to whoever recorded it initially, and it takes 10 seconds, well, maybe a little bit longer, but, you know, it's simple. I've done it. It's doable. Why not? Like, I feel like this song could be promoting the start of a new fantasy series, and that excited me. I thought it was going places. I really liked the background, how you had jellyfish sort of floating to the beat of the song. And I want to see the TV series that emerges from this. So, you know, if you get a TV series, Romania, I will watch it, put it on Netflix. I don't care if it's only got subtitles. I'm excited. You should make a spin-off TV show from your Eurovision entry.
That's never happened before. That'd be interesting.
Well, that'd be cool.
Of the cut.
Because it's got like a really magical narrative to it, and I think it could go places.
And Elysse, you get 10% of the cut for the idea.
I don't think they give me any % of the cut. Like, let's be real. But yeah, it's kind of got this really emo punk vibe to it, and I loved it. 100% loved it.
I know you spoke about the guitars at the beginning, but what do you think of that, like, distorted kind of thing with the guitar at the beginning? I kind of compared it to, like, what do you call it, photo glitching, like an audio version of it.
Ah, yeah. So you're not talking about the tone. You're talking about, like, how it's got that really little staggered thing in the little, like, little intro. Yeah, no, I didn't mind it. I thought it was kind of cool. Perhaps they reversed it a little bit. So they're playing up and then they're like dun 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 dun. Like maybe that's how they're getting that effect to like sort of just rewind the audio a little bit. Perhaps I'd have to experiment with that. I haven't looked too hard into reversing audio clips, but it could be. I think there's a real potential for that to be what it's doing. Just going up and then back down in reverse. It's kind of cool. The tone of the guitar is a bit interesting as well. Like maybe it's not the tone. Maybe it's just because it's the minor key. I just think that's got this really nice sort of sound to it, keeping it nice and melancholy. Because it's the minor key. Because that's the sort of sound that you're kind of getting from it. So yeah.
Okay, great. So thanks so much, Elysse, for your wonderful review on Romania.
No worries.
Well, thanks so much, Elysse. And if you enjoyed this, subscribe, watch more videos. We're doing
Watch him. He's awesome. He's amazing.